Hello, my name is Brian Daniels. I retired a month ago. Before that, I was the facility maintenance manager for the Anaheim Convention Center, working for the city of Anaheim. But I can speak for myself and my experience. We're in the business of renting space as a convention center, just the biggest companies in the world. They spend a lot of money for this space. They're not in that space for very long. So a roof leak in that space, we can't have it. A company can come to us and say, we'll warranty our roof, and if it ever leaks, we'll come out and fix it. Generally, they won't come out while it's raining anyway, which is when you need them. But we just can't have the roof leak in the first place. So for many years, as a maintenance worker, I just assumed that flat roofs leak. They all do. You go to the supermarket, you go anywhere, the suspended ceiling's wet, flat roofs just leak. Ours did. And we would divert it as best as we could. When I was a worker, I would go up to find out why the roof was leaking. And roof systems, of course, they're layers that are glued together, they overlap, or there's a lot of rocks involved, or you gotta sweep them away or whatever. And then there's weather weld. Weather weld is a single structure from top of the wall to the bottom of the drain. It's almost like they manufacture a strip of this roofing from other roofing companies on the roof. They manufacture it on the roof to be one single sheet to cover the entire roof, everything, top of the wall to the bottom of the drain. That's a very good idea, I thought, and it turned out it was, because I am not aware of a weather weld roof leaking. And we've had one for 17 years, I think, but as long as you have the building, your roof won't leak. That's what I'm convinced of. With weather weld, when a call comes in that says you have a roof leak at this location, you know you don't. That's not what it is. It's something else. It's going to be something else, which cuts down your time to diagnose what it really is, because you don't have to look at the roof. You don't have to sweep a bunch of rocks away, because there aren't any. You don't even have to think about it, because it's going to be something else. It's going to be equipment that's rusted through, or it's going to be a vent pipe that actually has a hole in it somewhere like that. So that saves a lot of time. Early in my career as the person that does things like fixing roofs, I met the weather weld representative guy, and he showed me a piece of the weather weld before we installed it, because I've seen it on the roof, I've walked on it, but I've never seen it. And it's hard to describe. It's thin, but it's really strong. You could take a jack, like the game jacks, and put it on the roof and stomp on it. Another thing, in our industry, they have the walk pads that they put to the equipment, the HVAC equipment on the roof, so you don't step on the roof. With weather weld, it doesn't matter. You can walk on it all day. You can walk anywhere. And there's always people on the roof putting up temporary antennas and things like that. And so that's the proof to me that the weather weld can stand greater than just the weather, people stomping around and things like that. Another advantage we had in that industry, the convention center industry, there's not a lot of time, especially if you're very successful, like the Anaheim Convention Center is, and there's not a lot of dark downtime. There's events all the time, moving in, moving out. And weather weld was never really an issue. They can install it, you can do business as usual. And some of these events are, auditorium type events, and it just never happened that we had to shut them down and have them leave. So that's a plus too. We just recently re-roofed Hall D, which is our largest roof by far. And if I hadn't specified a seamless roof, they would have to tear off the old roof to put on our new roof. And that would have been 2 months of complete shutdown, landfill, all kinds of stuff we didn't have to deal with, because all we had to do was put the weather weld over the existing roof. So as the guy that's responsible for when there's a roof leak and somebody's going to call and complain, one of the best things about it is I know from the 17 years, and of course all the other subsequent roofs we put on since Hall A, that I call weather weld, and they're going to find out what it is. And if it's not them, they're going to help me with it. No matter how long we have the roof, no matter what the issue is, they're not going to say, well, it can't be our roof, even though they're probably pretty convinced it isn't, but they're always there, they will always come out. And for me, I have enough to worry about. So that is another great aspect of weather weld in my experience. in my job as the person who had to go out and get a contractor to re-roof at the convention center over the years, I never looked for weather weld. I never spelled out weather weld. I would write specifications of what I want because of the promises that weather weld gives, that would be included, of course. And I really never, if weather weld didn't get the bid, or if there was some other product that came in that was just as good, that would be fine with me, because then I would be saving money. It would be a lower bid. It just never happened. In my experience, weather weld lives up to what they say they will do. Weather weld comes out when you have an issue for the life of the building, and I don't think you could ask for more. So after 39 years being a City of Anaheim employee at the Anaheim Convention Center, obviously that's my building, that's the way I see it, and I feel like I left it better than I found it, and I'm glad of that.